Hi there YouTube! So, as you know, I'm a Doctor Who fan and I'm a LEGO fan. And a couple months back when this set was released, I reviewed it as just a pure LEGO / Doctor Who collector's set rather than reviewing the game component, because I don't play the game and have no interest in doing so. And now it's time that the second Doctor Who LEGO Dimensions set has been released. This one here, the Cyberman Fun Pack. Came out a couple weeks ago, or yeah, a couple of weeks ago. We'll say that. But it took me a while to find. It was a little bit hard to track down. I'm not sure if that's because it's really popular or because LEGO Dimensions isn't popular and they're not ordering them in. I'm not really sure. As you can see, it's got the same kind of box as the other one. If you want to see what the box is kind of like, make sure to go and check out my other review. This is still a 3-in-1 set, despite the fact that it only comes with, two figures, a minifigure and a brick-built figure. And as I told you in the last review, remember the whole time the price, you can see here, bought from the same store which I bought the original set, which was $50 or $49.95. Here, $24.95 for this one. So, what are we waiting for? Let's get into it. Just quickly to note, again, as in the Doctor Who set, the only instructions you get are enough to build the Cyberman figure himself and put it on the base plate. Then it tells you to use the in-game instructions. Now, because I don't have them and I'm not reviewing it from that perspective, that means I have to download the instructions for the rest of this figure online. So I'm going to have to do that. That's something you need to take note for these toys. Alright, I'll be back. So I've built up the default standard builds for this fun pack. So the first thing you get is this Cyberman figure. Now this alone is probably the reason that a lot of Doctor Who fans are going to want to buy this set, because you get this figure. Now this, apart from having a very, very nice display base, as I've said, these work really cool as display bases. I display my 12th Doctor on his because I think it looks really nice. I think this Cyberman one looks equally nice and makes a nice display base, though very expensive one. But anyway, this is the Cyberman figure, and as you can see, they've done an amazing job. Now, my camera's not picking it up, but he is actually almost a metallic silver in the plastic, or very, very close to metallic silver in the plastic, and then all that painting there on the front is metallic. So you get that really nice shininess. Very, very well done there. You get a printing on the back chest part as well. Would have been nice to have that come down the arms, because I know they do arm printing now is a thing that LEGO can do. But even without that, this is really, really nice. The head is also very, very well done. I think it's LEGO-ified, but they did it in a way which is still scary, I think. It's a little bit cartoonish, but I think the attention to detail, such as having the ear antenna things hollowed out, so you can see there's actually like space behind them, which is really, really nice, is really good, and I think they did a good job with the way they did the eyes and stuff like that. So that it does look still scary while also looking, classic LEGO style Doctor Who, which always makes things look a little bit, cuter and less scary than they actually are. Next then you get the Dalek. Now you'll notice straight away this is a completely different build to the one that came in the Doctor Who TARDIS set, so the LEGO Ideas set. This is what this one looks like. You can see it uses one of these pieces as the base. Now you get these couple of little pieces on here, which are not used for this build, but for use for others as part of the display stand. You can see you get this Dalek here is very different. It has the same moving head feature, which is good. It's good that Daleks have to have moving heads. It uses that same printed tile or inverted tile piecey bit here to give you the lights or imitation version of the light/ears. And then you get a switch here to imitate the gun, and then this to imitate the sucker. In comparison, I will do a separate dedicated review to comparing these with the character building Daleks. These are the Daleks that come with the Doctor Who Ideas set. So when you compare them, you can see that this one is definitely much more blocky. Apparently, this is the one that you encounter in the game. You don't find this one in the game. That's only in the set. You can see they're very, very differently scaled, in that this one is a lot taller and straight up, and this one's a lot thinner. They've got very different looks about them. And I know when I saw prominent YouTube user Jane Bricks, oh sorry, I butchered his name, doing the review on this, he said, oh, he actually liked it in the end better than the normal one. And when I first saw it, I thought, oh, this looks like a cheap knockoff, rip-off version. The reason it looks like this, obviously, is because it has to incorporate all the parts for 3 different builds as opposed to this, which is just 1. But I actually kind of agree with him. I mean, I was pretty scathing on my thoughts about this Dalek. I was really not a very big fan of it. I'm still not a big fan of it now. I think it just doesn't look quite right. I actually think in Lego form, this one does look more appropriate. Better is not the word I'm looking for, because I still think there are too many things that are cartoonified and Lego-ified, so that, you know, no offense obviously to 5-year-olds who play with Lego, but it does look like this was built by a 5-year-old who played with Lego. It doesn't feel like a designer, an official Lego designer has really gone, how are we going to make a Dalek in this scale? On the other hand, you have this one, which definitely feels like someone's, you know, gone to the effort of designing it, but it just feels really over-engineered because of the fact it's quite hollow in here, the shapes are wrong, the plunger and everything are too far apart. So this Dalek is definitely still worth collecting. Whether you liked or disliked this one, it's actually quite different, and I actually think is somewhat of an improvement. So even for this first build alone, I'm actually pleasantly surprised by what you get from just the very simple first builds of this. But obviously, as I said, you know, we're looking at this as a Lego set, and there are 2 other versions of this Dalek that we can build up. I'll build the second one for you right now. Alright, so this is the first alternate build of the Cyberman Fun Pack. This here is the Fire and Ride Dalek. Now, look, I'm always really impressed by the fact that LEGO can make such small figures that can be rebuilt in 3 different ways using every single piece. But this is just going to the next level of weird. I mean, look, again, and the same with K9, you can't look at any of these from a collector's perspective, really, because obviously it's nothing that we've seen in the show. Possibly it's some kind of callback to the Special Weapons Dalek with that giant central laser, but I really don't think that was intentional. Yeah, look, this is very weird. I mean, it's kind of cool looking as for a kid, right? And the idea is that if I grab the Cyberman figure here, he can actually stand on this back part. That's the idea. And, you know, whee! These guys are working together in the game. I don't understand why, but sure. So that, I guess in that sense, it does actually have a bit of play value because you've got, this guy actually does ride on the back. But in terms of me as a collector, this is just very funky looking, very weird looking. Not really a big fan of it. Yeah, it is what it is. But that's that. Alright, let's have a look at the third build. Alright, so here's the third build for this Cyberman LEGO Dimensions Fun Pack. And this is the Silver Shooter Dalek. So this one, I think, in the same way that the third build for the K9 was much better than the second, I think this build is much better than the other one. I think this one looks more Dalek-like. I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe it's just with this and these side panels. Maybe it's the big head. This actually looks like something that the Daleks would actually come up with themselves and would actually use in battle. It definitely looks like it's powered up, like it's evolved. I really quite like it. I believe in the game that this actually shoots off. Like, that's the kind of thing that shoots off. It's a bit like a rocket kind of thing. In the toy, not so much. But I think it's quite cool. I think they've used these well. And I think they've retained enough Dalek elements to make this look like a Dalek, while also being able to do the kind of zany things they do for the game. Now, in the same way that the previous one had a combining kind of feature, so does this one. You've got this little round tile with the peg hole. You just clip the Cyberman on there and he sits. It's not as secure as it was on the other one, but it's secure enough so you can get the Cyberman riding along, shooting. This one you can't really use without the base. The base allows it to, as you can see, it's kind of built up using this base, so it's kind of hard to take him off, the same way the K9 was, you know, couldn't take him off the base. But I think that actually works. I think it looks like it's hovering on some, like, energy beam or something. And you've still, you've actually lost the rotational head in this one. I didn't show that in the other one, but you lost that in the other one too, so this one can only look forward. But yeah, I think that aside, this one actually looks really, really cool. Now, I'm still not going to display it like that because I'm a bit of a purist Doctor Who fan like that, but I think this is definitely cool, and I think a collector would appreciate this configuration as well even if they didn't appreciate the previous one. Alright, so what do I think about this set overall? So the Cyberman Fun Pack is very interesting. I think, again, it shows just how much effort LEGO is putting into the LEGO Dimensions video game, in the fact that a small assembly, just like this Dalek here, which had the pressure of, you know, having to conform to a specific character and a very specific design, because I know the BBC worked alongside LEGO in developing these to make sure they were happy with the finished product. And to be able to make something that looks like this, looks very much like a Dalek, and as I said, a pretty decent representation of a LEGO Dalek, and being able to transform it into two other models with some cross-compatibility with this Cyberman figure here was very impressive. Moreover, this figure itself, as a Cyberman figure, is really, really nice. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I think LEGO did a very, very good job of representing an iconic character in a minifigure way, which was clever, it was very nicely done, and, you know, did a very good job of balancing that line between being too cartoonish, that it wasn't, you know, scary or like a villain, but also being still a LEGO minifigure, which in essence is cartoonish. So I think they did a very good job with that. However, as I said in my previous view of the set, which you can see in the background of this review, the problem with this is just the price. This is not, under any conception, $25 worth of LEGO. So the only reason you're going to see this as good value is if you're like me and you're a Doctor Who fan, and you're like me and you're a LEGO fan as well, and you want to have both together at once. Under any other circumstance, this is just not going to be good value. So I think the biggest takeaway and the biggest positive of this is that hopefully it's a sign that, you know, LEGO is going to make some more Doctor Who sets, which will allow us to get some more of these, because they're both kind of army builder, you know, kind of style of villains. And hopefully the fact that LEGO's invested this much time in, for example, making that character minifigure design, we're going to be seeing it more in the future. But otherwise, again, unless you're a Doctor Who fan, I really can't recommend this set, unless you have the game, in which case, go for your life, because I've, again, heard the Doctor Who levels and the Doctor Who stuff is actually very, very good, very well done. But alright, that's enough from me. What are your thoughts about this set? Have you changed your mind on LEGO Dimensions game? Have you picked up any of the other sets? It's been a couple of months since I asked that in my last review, so I'm curious to see if you've been tempted by some of the new Back to the Future sets or something like I almost have. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to do all those cool things you do on YouTube, like, you know, subscribe and like, and hopefully leave a comment just like responding to what I said, or let's be real, just a random comment if you really want to. Show your friends because you love to see a Doctor Who this. You really want to show your friends this, me dancing around two Doctor Who figures. Yeah, okay, you don't. Anyway, alright, I'm getting weird and rambly. As we always say, guys, thanks for watching. This is all we got time for. This is XtremeTrainz.